Ready to test your knowledge about credit unions? On this episode of Headlines in Fine Print, we're going to dispel some common myths about credit unions. Hello and welcome to Headlines in Fine Print. I'm Dion Williams, President and CEO of Piedmont Advantage Credit Union. Today, we're going to dispel some common myths about credit unions. But before we get into that discussion, just like to invite you, if you like this episode and want to hear past episodes, we have them archived on YouTube and Spotify. So be sure to like, follow, and share if you are so inclined. So the first myth we want to talk about is that credit unions are small and can't offer the same services as a bank. And I kind of chuckle at this one because I think that our size is actually an advantage. Have you ever complained that you feel more like a number than a person? And usually that correlates to size. When you're talking about a larger organization, that's where folks seem to feel like that they've been reduced to a number and not a person. So credit unions on the whole are smaller than our counterparts on the bank. So we are a local place, locally owned, and a place that you can come into, and we're going to know your name. We want to see pictures of your kids and grandkids and have those conversations. But the size isn't a limiting factor for us. Financial services are largely a commodity business, meaning what one institution offers, the other ones generally follow suit, offering those same things. And you think about products like car loans, home loans, mortgage loans, credit cards, all of those. And so we are a full service financial institution, and credit unions on the whole, they offer the same products and services as banks, and they're local, and you are a person and not a number. Secondly, it's too difficult to switch accounts from another institution. And I understand that is one of the largest objections in general for anyone switching banks or credit unions or however it may be. You have your direct deposit, you have your bill payments, you have your drafts, all of that set up. And I understand it can be challenging to have that to where it's to just change the origin of those drafts, so to speak. Now, at Piedmont Advantage Credit Union, we have a neat tool called SwitchKit. And with SwitchKit, it kind of automates that process for you. So it takes a process that I understand can be frustrating and time consuming and makes it much more automated for you to bring over those bill payments, drafts, and direct deposits that you're accustomed to receiving in your current account. So if you're interested in switching, all other things equal, we can make that process easier for you. And I think it's something that in this broader spectrum of the financial services space that folks like to point to just as an objection to kind of keep you where you're at, but here to assure you that there are technologies and resources available to make that process much more seamless. The third myth I want to talk about today is that credit unions are not sophisticated with technology. Now, if you've watched this show or seen any of my messages in the Piedmont Advantage Credit Union newsletter, you'll know that I'm not the biggest fan of artificial intelligence. I know that it definitely has a place in our world, and I'm not opposed to using it where it applies, but I kind of want to draw the distinction here. We are very up to date, and credit unions on the whole are very up to date with technology. Yet at Piedmont Advantage specifically, we haven't sold out to artificial intelligence. Again, we use it where warranted, but on the whole, we understand it's a people business, and we very much focus on that personal relationship, and that's how you receive the service that you expect and deserve. Now, speaking about technology specifically, at Piedmont Advantage over the past year, we upgraded our core processing system, which is kind of the nerve system of the credit union. And with that, we are very much on par with the technology of any other financial institution. We offer bill pay, we offer mobile banking, we offer mobile deposit, we have instant issue debit cards, online banking. I mean, the list goes on and on. You can have digital wallet through your credit union. Also, integration with Venmo and PayPal. So all that to say that some of the conveniences of technology that's out there in the broader banking sector, I assure you, you can find that at Piedmont Advantage Credit Union and with other credit unions on the whole. So that's one that's a fun one to dispel because we offer the technology, But on the other side, we're very people focused. So you get the best of both worlds. You have the personal relationship as we focus on people over artificial intelligence, but we also offer the technology where you can do business with us from anywhere in the world. That brings us to our next myth to dispel. Credit unions are local, so it's difficult to do business with a credit union if you move or travel. Again, that myth is also false. Now, one of the cool things about credit unions is we're cooperative in nature. We are a financial cooperative, and we, as credit unions, work together. That's one of the cooperative principles, credit cooperatives cooperating with one another. And where I'm going with this is there's a shared branching network where there's over 5,000 locations throughout the United States where members of one credit union can conduct transactions in the office of another credit union. And in addition, through that same network, we're tied into over 30,000 ATMs throughout the country where you can do surcharge-free withdrawals. Now, that branch network and that ATM network is very much on par with that of the largest commercial banks. So let's just do a quick recap. We, as credit unions, we do have the technology. You can do business with us anywhere in the country or in the world. So if you're traveling or have to move, you can still maintain your relationship with the credit union, and you get the advantages of a local institution where decisions are made locally, it's owned locally, and you're not having to escalate a decision to a corporate office in another part of the country or the world. Now let's look at the myth of credit unions are less regulated. To the contrary, credit unions are every bit as regulated as banks, and arguably more so. So using Piedmont Advantage as an example, we're a state chartered credit union, so we fall under the jurisdiction of the North Carolina Credit Union Division, but we also our insurance company is the National Credit Union Administration, or NCUA. So on the banking side, they are governed by the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. On the credit union side, it's the National Credit Union Administration. Now, the coverages are the same. So your account deposit insurance is the same amounts, whether it's FDIC or NCUA. It's just different agencies that regulate the banks and credit unions. And again, with Piedmont Advantage being a state charter, we have a state regulator, a federal regulator, and then banks and credit unions alike fall under the jurisdiction of the CFPB, which is the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau. Now, some of those rules are supposedly geared towards the largest of banks and the largest of credit unions, but the truth is, the decisions and the rules that they make, it trickles down and it impacts every single financial institution in the country. So just to recap that, the banks have the FDIC, the credit unions have the NCUA, but the insurance amounts and deposit accounts are the same. It's just regulatory agencies that are different, whether you're a bank or credit union. But then there's this other umbrella, the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, or the CFPB, that has rulemaking authority that impacts banks and credit unions alike. Credit unions don't pay taxes is also a common myth, and it's a popular refrain from bankers. And again, that is a gross oversimplification of the truth. So there's one type of taxes that credit unions don't pay, and that's corporate income tax. We pay payroll tax on employees. We pay property taxes. You name a tax, we pay it other than that corporate income tax. But let me draw this distinction for you. Credit unions are not-for-profit financial cooperatives. So our quote-unquote profits, we give back to our member owners in a different way. We offer them better rates on deposits and loans. We have lower fee structures, and we invest in technology and service delivery channels to give our member owners a better service experience. So that's one of the things that frequently comes up. Well, credit unions don't pay taxes. That's how they have better rates. But you're missing the whole point. Credit unions are a cooperative, and we're in business for our member owners. And let's distinguish that from a bank. So a bank has shareholders, and a bank has customers. And as you know, customer wants the best deal possible. Shareholders want return on their investment. That can be two competing sets of ideals. Furthermore, if you're a bank shareholder, you could have 1 million shares in the bank and somebody else has no shares or 1 share. The person with 1 million shares in the bank has a larger say than the person with no shares or 1 share. Credit unions are different. We're all equal. It doesn't matter if you have $1 million on deposit with us or $5 on deposit with us. It's one member, one vote. So the members elect a board of directors who are not compensated, serve on a voluntary basis, to whom the CEO reports. So the whole structure of credit unions is cooperative, where it goes back to the member owners. And with the bank side, again, you have kind of those two masters to serve. You have the customers and the shareholders who have competing interests. But on the credit unions, if you're a member, you're an owner, and all owners are equal. So that makes it much easier on us in terms of just having to serve one group. In terms of closing thoughts, today, I hope that I've been able to successfully dispel some myths out there about credit unions. Again, if you're so inclined, please like, share, follow us on YouTube and Spotify if this topic resonated with you, or if you'd like to go back and revisit past episodes of Headlines in Fine Print. Thank you so much for joining us today for Headlines in Fine Print with Dion Williams, brought to you by Piedmont Advantage Credit Union. In 2025, we're here to do 2 episodes per month. We were only doing 1 episode per month in 2024. So we're happy to expand our show this year to offer 2 per month and cover topics of financial interest to you. Want to wish you and yours a happy new year. And if you want to reach out to me, I'm dion.williams@pacu.com, or my phone number is 336-750-7088. So again, if you have questions about today's topic or other topics you'd like for me to address in future shows, would love to hear from you, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.